So, like as I was saying, the subject of a sentence, if the subject of a sentence is singular, the verb that is connected to that subject must also be what? It must also be singular. So here I said that word, the subject of a sentence is what? Chief. That is subject one. Then we have another option. Notice the word or. Notice the word or. That means it can be this or that. So it's just, you still treat it as one. Assuming they wrote and, then the subject of that sentence becomes two. Okay, becomes plural. But here we have the word or. So either the chief of the village or the leader, this is also singular, is to be responsible for the revolt. Now, we can restructure this sentence and write something like this. Let me show you. The chief of the village is to be what? Held responsible for the revolt. That's one way to write this thing. I can write it this way. Or I can say that what? The leader of the farmers. Okay? That's another way to write it. The leader of the what? The leader of the farmers is to be what? Is to be held responsible for the what? For the revolt. So, can you see that the word is, is. I did not say where. Where is past tense. It cannot be where. That's for plural. Assuming they wrote that, assuming they wrote AND instead of OR. Assuming they said the chief of the village and the leader of the farmers. I cannot say and within that gap. The chief of the village and the leader of the farmers are to be held responsible. Yes, that's correct. But because of the word or, we cannot use the word ARE. Okay, the best answer is going to be is. Okay, why is HAVE wrong? Let me tell you why HAVE is wrong. HAVE is a plural word, it's a plural verb. It's a plural verb. And since our subject, chief, is singular, leader is also singular, there's no way you will say have. Okay, you cannot say have. So have is a plural word, so you cannot use have for that gap. So that is the reason why HAVE is wrong. Okay, I hope you get my explanation. I hope you understand my points. Okay, I've addressed your question to Milara. Okay, any other question? Any other question? I want to pause here for tonight. If you have any other question, let me know. We're going to take a short break and then we're going to come back with biology. So just let me open my biology files and then we're going to come back with biology. So hold on, don't go anywhere. We're going to continue in the next 2 minutes. Okay?
Alas, God do it. And I don't pay my rent, God do it. If you want from my heart, for God do it. If you want to keep my joy, for God do it. I say anything, everything, I God do it. No, I God do it. No, I God do it, no. I don't change my name to God do it. I no more, I don't buy one, no, God do it. I say my back has no go say, but God do it. And then me say I don't go through, but God do it. Tell my brother, let them try their love, my God do it. No, my God do it. No, my love do it, no. As you don't pass that sound, now God you it. And then me say you no go back for God you it. Wake up, sit to the last song, now God you it. Robbers, they don't see you, brother. They don't see you, my sister. Oh, yeah, better back. What do we do? That right? What do we do? As my wedding, the God you win. And you don't say that if I forgot you. If we go pop some way to the end, God you win. We go there, dance, 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 cause God you win. Anything with the God you win. And we show my brother God you win. Charge my friend God you win. And check it down, my brother God you win. And if your market, God you win. Why you no go dance? I got you. No, I got you. No, I got you. No. Can you please got you? No, I got you. No, I got you. No. Got you.
More music on tunesjam.com.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to biology now. Are you still with me? We are set for biology. If you are still with me, let me see your message in the chat box. Biology. For those of you that want to do medicine, nursing, physiotherapy, and what else? All those health-related courses. Biology is for you. Biology is for you. So, now, what is UTME biology testing? It's basically testing your understanding of biology. Okay? Now, let me say something here. Physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. It's extremely important that you get familiar with the JAMB syllabus. I cannot overemphasize this business. So, the bulk of this introductory class for biology that I'm going to be taking today, I'm going to be taking you to the JAMB syllabus. Okay? So, look at this thing. Get familiar with the words JAMB, or some people call it JAMB syllabus. Actually, the appropriate word should be UTME syllabus. Okay? Get familiar with the word, with the UTME syllabus. Okay? Somebody is thinking, what is the difference between UTME and JAMB? UTME is the name of the exam. JAMB is the name of the organization that conducts the exam. Okay? So we have different subjects, okay, that are included in the UTME. So each of the subjects will have a syllabus. Biology has its own syllabus. Chemistry has its own syllabus. Physics has its own syllabus. And this is the interesting thing. They will not set a question, they will not set question on any topic that is not in your syllabus. Okay? Why is this important? It will help you ensure that you don't waste time. Let me tell you something. There are some things that they taught you in your secondary school that are not in JAMB syllabus, but they are in WAEC syllabus. That's why they taught you. Okay? Those things are in WAEC syllabus, so they taught you, because you're also going to do WAEC for people that, probably in SS3 or something. So, but for JAMB, for UTME, you need to be familiar with the syllabus so that you will know, okay, what should I spend time on? What should I stop bothering? What should I stop worrying about? There are some topics you should not bother yourself about. So the first thing I want to tell you is what? Get familiar with the UTME syllabus. Now, what I've done basically, and what I'm going to be doing in the course of this lesson, is that I have gone through the syllabus and I've come up with about 21 topics. 21. In fact, this 21, we can actually make it 17 or 18. Okay? But then let's leave it at 21. Can even be more than 21 actually, because of this number 15. This number 15 is a very big topic. So let's say we have 21 topics in biology. 21 topics, ladies and gentlemen. Now, look at it, what you have, ladies and gentlemen. You see, it's not too early to start practicing and preparing for your JAM. That's, if you remember, I posted something like that in the WhatsApp group some days ago. Maybe day before yesterday or yesterday. That word. The best time to start preparing is now. Okay? The best, don't wait until your JAM exam is just about 16 weeks from now. Is it 16 or 15 weeks from now? And you have a lot to cover. Just imagine 21 topics in biology only. Physics too will have about 17 to 21 topics. Chemistry too, 17 to 21 topics. For those of you doing health-related courses. And you have just 13 weeks. That's about 90-something days. Okay? Or 100 and something days. So you don't have all the time. You need to get busy now. You need to, in fact, some people have started practicing and preparing for their jams since last year, December, for your information. There are some students that they already started practicing and doing their classes since last year. So it's not too early to start. All right? It's not too early to start. Now, let's come back to biology. So look at these topics. I'm sure looking at these topics, you're going to tell yourself that, this one is easy. This one, I know it very well. This one, I know it very well. And then you're going to see some topics, they will look like, this one is hard. Okay? All right, let me even ask you guys a question. From this list of 21 topics, which one do you think is the hardest for you? Let me see. I want you to type in the chat box. Which one do you think is the hardest or the most challenging for you? From this list of 21 topics, which topic do you think is the most challenging for you? Which topic is the most challenging? Is it number 1 or number 4 or number 5 or number 7? Okay. Okay. Bewaji says ecology. All right. Ecology is very challenging because ecology is a very, very broad topic. There are so many, what do they call this thing now? So many babies. Ecology has many babies inside it. So many babies inside it. So different parts of ecology. But I just had to write ecology. There's population ecology. There's basic ecological concepts. So many, like 4 or 5 parts of ecology. We're going to see the syllabus. So a lot of people find ecology they find it challenging. Another aspect that can be challenging for some students is number 3, classification of living things. All those names of phylum, porifera, all those big names, echinodermata, coelentrates, prokaryotes, monera, kingdom plantae, all those big names. Some people find it, complicated. But then you shouldn't let all those things scare you. Okay? Don't let those things scare you. Just make up your mind that, okay, I'm going to master this thing and I'm going to get a good score. I think a made-up mind is very, very important. Tell yourself that, yes, I'm going to get a good score, and then ask yourself, what will it take? What will it take? One of the things I'm going to be teaching you later on is, okay, how do you plan your study? I think I mentioned that earlier on. And then how do you deal with tough topics like this ecology now? How do I master it and make sure that any question that comes out in ecology, I'm able to answer it? You need to tell yourself that any question that comes out in ecology, I will be able to handle it. Any question that comes out under Newton's law of motion, gravitational forces, I'll be able to handle it. Any question that comes out under redox reaction in chemistry, those topics, you tell yourself and then you work towards it. Okay? That determination is extremely important because it's going to keep you on your toes. It's going to keep you moving. It's going to keep you moving. All right? So we have these 21 topics. And because we have limited time, we are not going to be able to teach everything. But we are going to try and see if we can teach everything. Okay? But then, let's not promise that we're going to teach everything. But we are going to teach the ones that students find challenging. Those are the ones we are going to focus on first. Like ecology now, we'll probably start with ecology. Okay, and then we'll now move to maybe classification, then we'll move to maybe some other topics, depending on what you guys say. So we are going to post in the group and you decide the topic you want, and then we are going to take those topics. That's what we're going to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, 21 topics. Now, let me take you to JAMB syllabus. I want to show you something inside JAMB syllabus. I said earlier on that the questions that will come out in your exam is going to be questions that they will be based on topics inside this syllabus. They will not ask you anything that is not in this syllabus. That's just the fact. Okay? So look at the syllabus here. So the ideal thing is that what, as somebody preparing for UTME, you must what? You must learn to use this syllabus to prepare yourself. Use this syllabus to study. Okay? Now look at the first thing here. Let me just look at number one and then I'll jump to another particular part of the syllabus. Now look at it. Living organisms. So there are three main things that you are expected to cover under the topic of living organisms. Number one is what? Characteristics of living organisms. Okay? Movement, nutrition, growth, all those things, characteristics of living organisms. Number two, cell structure. Okay, structure of a cell. And then when we say cell structure, we are talking about two major types of cells, plant cells and animal cells. So look at it, they wrote it here. Identify the structures of plant and animal cells. Okay, identify the structure of what? Plants and animal cells. So you must be able to identify, if you see a drawing, you must be able to say, this is a plant cell. This is an animal cell. Okay, the different structures inside that cell, you must be able to tell us, okay, this is a mitochondria, this is Golgi apparatus, this is endoplasmic reticulum, this is nucleus, this is nuclear membrane, this is chromatin material. You must be able to identify the different structures in a plant cell. You must be able to tell us the functions. Look at it again here. They said, analyze the functions of the different components or the different organelles of a plant and animal cell. That's under B, cell structure and function. Okay? Then look at it. It says you must be able to compare and contrast the structure of plant and animal cells. What is the meaning of compare and contrast? Compare means what? Tell us what they have in common and tell us what distinguishes one from the other. In other words, what can you see in an animal cell that you can also see in a plant cell? That's compare. Tell us the similarities. Contrast means tell us what you can see in an animal cell that you will not see in a plant cell. Or tell us what you will see in a plant cell that you will not see in an animal cell. Compare and contrast. Then number 5 says, trace the levels of organization among organisms and their logical sequence in relation to the 5 levels of organization. So levels of organization, this is a very popular concept in SS1 biology. Levels of organization, cell, tissue, organ, system, and what? Organisms. Those 5 levels, you must be able to trace those 5 levels. And that's what you have here. Can you see they've even written it for us here? Cell, tissue, organ, system, organism. Can you see that? So some living things exist at the cellular level. Some living things exist at the what? At the tissue level. Some living things exist at the what? Organ level. Some living things exist at the what? At the systemic level. And then some living things exist at the what? As a whole organism. So those are things that you need to be what? You need to be familiar with. You need to study those things in your textbook. Okay, so let me give you one tip here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me give you let me call it a 4-step process. For mastering your subjects. A 4-step process for mastering your subject. Let me give you the 4-step process. Number 1, identify the topics that you need to understand. Identify the topics, just like I've done now. I took you to the syllabus, okay? Use the syllabus for this. So identify the topics, that's number 1. Number 2, study your textbook. Study those topics in your textbooks and on different websites online. There are so many websites where you can learn a lot of things online. So many of them, so many of them. Okay, just remember I took you to Merriam-Webster to do some English lesson the other time. There are so many websites where you can learn a lot of stuff online. And these are things you need to learn to do. Not just on YouTube. There are other sites. Okay, we are going to be sharing all those links with you so that you can benefit from all of them. So study those topics in your textbook. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say study, I am not saying that you should read. Study is a deeper thing than reading. Study involves a lot of thinking. Okay? When you say study, you are not just reading. You are reading, number one. You are thinking, number two. You are writing. So if somebody says, if I chat with one of you now, maybe I chat with Bewaji or I chat with Tumilara and I say, Tumilara, how are you doing today now? So what did you study today? You should be able to show me what you wrote down. If you tell me that you studied for 5 hours and you did not write anything, my dear, you have wasted time. You have not studied. For you to say you have studied, you must write something down. You must write something down. Hope you get my point now. So when we say study, you are not just reading. You are reading, you are thinking, you are researching, you are checking different sources. Your textbook, your notebook, online sources too, to confirm one or two, to confirm the thing you are seeing in your syllabus. Okay? And then you are writing down. You are writing down some points. Sometimes you need to write down questions. I tell some of my students, I say, you need to form questions. You need to begin to think like a JAMB examiner and form questions. You now keep it. Then after some days or some weeks, you now go and bring out those questions. Then you now try and answer them. Those are things that constitute study. Okay, so number 2 is what? Study those topics in your textbook and what? And on different websites. That's step 2. Step 3 is to what? Practice lots of questions on those what? Topics. Practice lots of questions on those topics. For example, now, on this screen here, we have plant and animal nutrition. There are some UTME practice apps, CBT softwares, that have questions that have been categorized based on topics. So you have about 300 to 400 questions on plant and animal nutrition. You have about 200 to 300 questions on ecology, 200 to 300 questions on health and disease, 200 to 300 questions on genetics, 200 to 300 questions on classification. So what do? After studying my textbook, studying the topic of maybe plant and animal nutrition, maybe I studied for like 6 or 7 hours and I think I've covered everything in the syllabus. I will now go to my CBT practice app on my computer or on my phone. Or maybe I will go to my printed JAMB past question. And then I will now practice questions on that topic. That's step number 3. Hope you get my point now. And then step number 4 is what? Mark your work and do self-correction. What do I mean by self-correction? In other words, after doing your practice and the next thing, after doing your practice, okay, you practice, after finishing practicing the question, the next thing to do is to now what? Mark what you have done and check the questions you got wrong so that you can learn from your mistakes. Ask yourself, why is this answer wrong? So let's say assume that the answer to a particular question is A, but you picked B. Then you now need to ask yourself, why is A the correct answer? You go back to your textbook and you go and check your textbook. You go to the internet and you check the internet. Now, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you type a question on the internet and you see one answer, don't go by that answer. You need to check many other websites and confirm and be sure. Okay? At least 5 or 6 websites must support that one answer, because a lot of fake answers are online, for your information. As a matter of fact, some of you like using AI. AI can give you fake answers. Oh. So please, don't just say that, it's AI that told me this answer. No, 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 no. Go and look for another AI to tell you another answer and see whether it will tell you the same answer. Hope you get my point now. So you go and check and confirm, okay, why is this answer wrong? Okay, why is this the answer correct? And then you learn. That's self-correction. If you are not able to figure it out, talk to one of your colleagues, send them a message and tell them, this question, what do you think the answer should be? And then tell them to explain why this particular answer is correct and why this one is wrong. That's part of what? Self-correction. So these are things that you need to what? You need to train yourself to do as you what? As you prepare for this your UTME exam. Okay? Now let's go back to our JAM syllabus, to our biology syllabus. So I've shown you the first thing, the first topic in the syllabus, living organisms, characteristics of living organisms and level of organization. And then the second topic is what here they called it evolution among the following. But this thing here is what we call classification of living things. That's what we call it in biology. Classification of living things. We have 5 kingdoms. Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, and Kingdom Animalia. Where's Kingdom Animalia? Yeah, see Kingdom Animalia here. So this thing here, number 2 is what? Classification of living things. That's topic number 2 in JAM syllabus. Topic number 3 is what? Structural and functional behavioral, structural/functional and behavioral adaptations of living things, of organisms. So this topic is about adaptation. This topic is about what? Adaptation. Are you guys hearing me? Let me see. If you are hearing me, let me drop a message. Somebody is typing a message that she cannot hear me. If you can hear me, let me see your message. Everyone is hearing me. So, what's it called? Topic number 3 is what? Classification. Sorry, topic number 3 is what? Adaptation. Okay? This is usually the last thing I teach when I teach biology in my school. It's usually the last thing. Then we have, what's it called? Internal structure of plant. This is what we call tissues and supporting systems in plants and animals. Tissues and supporting systems in plants and animals. Then here we have nutrition. So nutrition is another topic. Number 2, nutrition. Okay. Now, I want to focus on this nutrition before I round up, and then we'll take another break, and then we'll move to chemistry. Somebody else is going to teach you chemistry. He should join us anytime soon. And if it doesn't come around, I guess I'll drop a quiz for you to do in the WhatsApp group. All right. So nutrition, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at nutrition alone. When we say nutrition, these are the things that you need to be familiar with. Modes of nutrition. There are 2 major modes of nutrition that JAM expects you to be familiar with. Autotrophic and what? Heterotrophic. Now, under autotrophic, we have 2 types. There are 2 types of autotrophic nutrition that JAM expects you to be familiar with. The first one is called photosynthetic, and the second one is called what? Chemosynthetic. Okay? And then for heterotrophic, these are the different types of nutrition that they expect you to be familiar with. Holozoic, parasitic, saprophytic, carnivorous plants. Okay? These are the, what's it called? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 types of what? Heterotrophic nutrition that what? that JAMB examiners expect you to be what? Familiar with. Hope you are getting my point. Nutrition. Nutrition. Very, very, this topic is actually a very easy topic to handle for most people. For most people. Now, after, what's it called? After the types of heterotrophic nutrition, you're now going to the details of photosynthesis, light and dark reaction of photosynthesis. Okay, you need to understand the necessity of light. In other words, why do we need light energy for photosynthesis? What is the importance of light for photosynthesis? What is the importance of carbon dioxide? And what is the importance of chlorophyll? You need to know the importance or the role that is played by all those three components during photosynthesis. You need to understand the experiment that is conducted to detect the presence of starch. Okay? You need to be able to identify macro and micro elements. You see this macro and micro element. This one is a problematic topic. Or let me say problematic question for many students. You need to master about 6, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Then we have, those are some of the macro. Then we have hydrogen, we have carbon, okay, of course, as part of photosynthesis, and oxygen. Then we have the micro, iron, molybdenum, cobalt, many of all those micronutrients. You need to know the roles of all those things. You need to know what happens if those things are deficient. Okay, so these are things you need to be familiar with. And these are things we are going to try and cover. For some of them, we might not be able to go into the details of the lesson. But then, as we treat questions, they will come up. So the approach we're going to use mainly for this class is that we're going to be treating a lot of questions. So in the course of treating those questions, whenever we come across any of these things, we probably will explain them in detail. You understand? We'll explain them in detail. So you see, there's a lot of things to cover when it comes to what? When it comes to nutrition. Okay? Deficiency symptoms of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Just these three. They don't want you to talk about deficiency symptom of iron. They don't want you to talk about deficiency symptom of what's it called now? Of lead. No, lead is not a nutrient for plants. Of cobalt. You understand? Just nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. That's all. Indicate the sources of various classes of food. Proteins, these are the classes of food: carbohydrate, proteins, fats and oil, vitamins, minerals. You must be able to indicate the sources of all these things. Okay? Determine the nutritional value of food. So we have food now. How do you know the nutritional value of a particular meal or a particular food? So that's part of things that they expect you to be familiar with. Relate the importance and deficiency of each class of food. So deficiency of carbohydrates, what does it result into? Deficiency of protein, what does it result into? Deficiency of vitamins. Now, remember that we have different vitamins. Vitamin A, D, E, K. Those are the water-soluble vitamins. Vitamin B and C. Vitamin A, D, E, K. Those are the fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin B and C. Those are the water-soluble vitamins. So you must be able to tell us, okay, what are the deficiency symptoms of vitamin C? What are the deficiency symptoms of vitamin B? What are the deficiency symptoms of vitamin D? What are the deficiency symptoms of minerals, calcium in the body of mammals, animals, human beings particularly? What are the deficiency symptoms of iron in human beings? Deficiency symptoms of vitamin K. Those are things you need to be familiar with. That balanced diet, importance of balanced diet. So many things here. I mean, we're going to be looking at all these things. So you see, nutrition alone is a topic that will take, in many, many hours. So let's assume that it takes maybe 15 minutes to treat one of these objectives. Compare autotrophic and heterotrophic modes of nutrition. So let's say it takes 15 minutes for me to study this. For me to study number 1 to number 21. That's going to be 15 times 21 minutes. That's about 1,000 minutes. Divide that by 60. So you see that it's a lot of time. So this class is just to prep you. Okay? This class is just what? To prep you and inspire you to go and study. That's my point. This thing I just said now is what? Is just to tell you that, okay, we will not, it's not possible to cover everything. JAMB is testing you what you learned from SS1 to SS3. It's not possible for us to teach everything in 3 months or 4 months. Do you understand now? So it is best that you go and sit down and draft a study timetable. That, okay, how many hours do I want to spend every day? 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. And then what time do I want to study? And then what are the subjects I'm going to be studying on so day? So you have a plan that is workable, and then you stick to your plan. That's part of your word. That's part of your preparation. Hope you get my point. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause here for now. So today's class has just been basically to introduce biology and to give you an idea of all the different topics that we're going to try and touch as we go on with this class. During our next class on biology, that will probably be on Monday or on Tuesday. We are going to go into the details of animal nutrition. In plant nutrition, I'll start with plant nutrition and then animal nutrition. And then we're going to look at some questions from the JAMB series or from JAMB CBT app. So, any question? Let me see. If you have any question, let me see. Drop your question in the WhatsApp chat if you have any question. I'm sorry, in the Zoom chat. If you have any question, type your question inside the Zoom chat. Let me see. Let me just take some questions and then we're going to address the question as soon as we can. Any question? Any question? If you have any question, let me know. Question or comments? I hope you have learned something from this class. Okay, somebody says, when is, I'm coming. Somebody says, when is physics, chemistry, math? Hey, this person came late. That's why she's asking this question. You came late. We started 7 o'clock. You have missed English. Okay, so don't worry. You did not miss biology. You did not miss you met part of biology. So today is for English, biology, and chemistry. The chemistry teacher should join us anytime soon. If he doesn't join us, then maybe I'll just drop some questions in the WhatsApp chat, and then we're going to practice that, and that will be all for today. I've messaged him, but his number is not responding. Somebody says, what is the difference between plants and animal cells? This is a whole topic on its own. So let me give you, okay, Bewaji, all right. Don't forget to share the website. There are many websites. All right, I will share 4 websites with you tomorrow. Just remind me tomorrow. In the WhatsApp chat, just type it in the WhatsApp chat tomorrow. Type it tomorrow, don't type it today. If you type it today, I might not see it. I get many messages every day. So type it tomorrow in the afternoon so that I will remember, and then I will drop it. So before I round up, maybe I should just answer Mohammed's question. What is the difference between